The man was shocked and unprepared for the sudden appearance of the wolf spirit. After that, only the man's screams of pain echoed. After successfully defeating and incapacitating the man, Hajin then ordered the wolf spirit to return to his body. With a mix of annoyance and anger in his gaze, Hajin quickly ran toward the man. The man could only curse as Hajin placed one foot on his chest. Hajin ignored his curses. With a threatening look, he pointed his pistol at the man again and asked if he still wouldn't say anything, but unfortunately, the man chose to stay silent when faced with his question. Seeing that, Hajin threatened, "If you just stay quiet, you'll have to get beaten first, but unfortunately, I don't have time to mess around with you. Maybe this won't hurt as long as I don't go too hard." The man panicked and quickly asked him to stop upon hearing his threat, but, at that moment, a sound like a notification suddenly rang out. Hearing it, with a confused look, Hajin shifted his gaze from the man and focused on listening. As it had been 1 hour since the cadets finished climbing the tower, the test would end now. All cadets would be summoned back outside the tower shortly. Hajin was shocked hearing the announcement. Right after that, accompanied by the repeated announcement and the man's confused look, Hajin's body was enveloped in blue light and slowly disappeared. The man laughed happily seeing that. He didn't expect to be this lucky. Hajin didn't expect this either. He didn't think there was someone luckier than him. Hajin somewhat regretted this, but he remembered the man introduced himself as Black Lightning earlier. As long as he kept doing things like that, they would surely meet again sooner or later. He would teach him a lesson when they finally met again. Hajin sighed briefly thinking about that. Just before he was expelled from the tower, he thought he needed to tell the boss about this. After exiting the tower and returning to Cube, Hajin then observed his surroundings. There were also many Cube cadets who had just been expelled from the tower like him. Although the exam was over, Hajin still somewhat regretted the incident earlier. It was such a pity. He thought he should have shot him at least once, but, while he was thinking about that, his attention was drawn when he heard someone calling him. It was Nayun. With a worried face, Nayun asked if he was okay. Facing her question, Hajin didn't answer and instead asked her if she was okay, but Hajin was shocked when Nayun suddenly held his face. While examining his face, Nayun worriedly asked what happened to him. Why did he look worse? Was he really okay? Hajin was speechless hearing that. He then answered he was fine, but Nayun didn't believe his answer. She felt he didn't look fine. She then told him she'd get a potion and asked him to wait there. Hajin really didn't understand her behavior. He tiredly told her she didn't need to do that, but unfortunately, Nayun didn't hear him and kept running to get a potion. Shortly after, Hajin heard a notification sound from his smartwatch, and when he opened it, it was a message from the boss. The boss told him she would hold a meeting regarding his request with the other members. Hajin was shocked by the sudden message. He quickly moved aside to hide from the other cadets. The boss's message didn't stop there. She said the result was 5 in favor and 5 against. Although Hajin was slightly disappointed, he had expected this. Even the chameleon troop tried not to kill Chai Jinyun unless absolutely necessary, but what confused him was the vote being 5 to 5, and the boss's next message answered his confusion. She said she hadn't given her decision yet. Hajin could only stay silent reading that. The boss continued, "In short, you've killed several people, but it was all for mission needs. Almost everyone you killed was evil and deserved to die, but, this time you said you wanted to kill someone. No matter the reason, if you kill because you want to, it will leave a mark on your psyche. Can you accept that?" Nayun's figure suddenly appeared in Hajin's mind as he read the boss's question. After that, the boss ended the conversation by inviting him to meet later to discuss this. Hajin could only sigh reading that. This really gave him a headache. If even the chameleon troop acted like that, it made him doubt, but, while he was thinking about it, he suddenly heard a commotion not far from where he was. He was quite confused and wondered if he misheard. Out of curiosity, Hajin walked toward the source of the commotion, but, he was shocked when he saw Rachel there. Rachel was also shocked seeing him. Hajin was relieved to see her okay. Rachel seemed to be complaining to the committee about Hajin's disappearance earlier. The committee member then annoyedly told her he was here and asked her not to cause strange commotions. Rachel was annoyed and angry hearing that. She told him that the person they met during the exam wasn't a supervisor but an intruder with malicious intent, but the committee member casually said he had already reported it. He also warned her this wasn't England. Ignoring her further, the committee member reported to his superior that all cadets were confirmed safe. The count was complete. Rachel was really angry seeing his attitude. Seeing that, Hajin tried to calm her. He told her that was enough. He suggested they report this to the supervising teacher. Later, But, Rachel still wasn't willing to let it go. She was still upset with the committee member, but, she slowly calmed down seeing Hajin's gaze. After taking a deep breath to calm herself, Rachel then asked him what happened with him and the Dark Moon of Death person. Hajin answered he won. Rachel was shocked hearing that. She was confused how he did it. Hajin replied he just beat him up. Hajin naturally didn't tell her he used stigma and summoned a wolf spirit. With a happy heart, Rachel was truly relieved to see him okay. Hajin was stunned for a moment seeing that. He then cleared his throat to calm himself. Time passed, and before we knew it, the schedule for Hajin and Suho's dungeon raid arrived. During the dungeon raid, they faced a giant snake monster, but it was easily handled by Suho. Suho looked happy seeing he had killed the snake. Judging by their still neat clothes, their dungeon raid seemed smooth so far. And while Hajin was reloading his pistol, a system notification sound suddenly appeared. Your understanding of stigma's mana has increased. A new function, concept imprint, has been added. Concept imprint can imprint stigma's mana onto a designated concept. You can imprint up to 2 concepts. Concepts that receive imprinting only consume half the mana to manifest. The imprint effect had been present since he fought Black Lightning. He didn't immediately choose which concept to use. And the notification kept appearing until now. This made Hajin think about choosing immediately. He thought about choosing teleportation. Hajin sighed thinking about it. Suho, who had been checking the condition of the giant snake he defeated, was confused seeing Hajin complain of exhaustion. He then enthusiastically asked him wasn't the boss from this dungeon fun and unique. Hearing his question, Hajin told him to stop saying weird things like that in the open. He also asked why he told people their dungeon raid was a drive. Hearing that, Suho defended himself saying he couldn't casually say they were raiding a dungeon, but his defense didn't calm Hajin's annoyance. Because of that, people kept wondering if they were dating, but, when Suho was about to defend himself once more, he was shocked when his smartwatch rang. With a happy face, he asked Hajin to wait a moment. He would answer the message first. Seeing his happy face, Hajin casually asked if it was from Yoon Sung-ah. His question naturally shocked Suho. With a face as if avoiding the topic, Suho asked why he dared call a senior by her name. Hajin grinned mischievously seeing that. He told him he didn't deny it earlier. With a somewhat pleading face, Suho said it really wasn't like that. Why would Sung-ah be interested in him? But, his pleading face only annoyed Hajin. He was truly confused how this guy could live so calmly and peacefully for 30 years with a face like that. Suho suddenly remembered something and asked if he really wasn't joining their trip. Hajin firmly answered no. He also told him not to change the topic so casually, but Suho didn't give up. He then offered an item he got from a monster, and coincidentally, the item was very tempting for Hajin. It was one of his randomly created items. That damn co-author always left something weird. The item was called Jar of Desire, a jar filled with desire. Whatever you put in it, the desire in the jar will cling to it. Hajin honestly admitted the item was very tempting, because his high luck stat made him a lucky guy. An item relying on luck like that was top tier for him, and when Hajin was thinking of accepting the offer, Suho told him they wouldn't meet for 3 months when they left, so if they stayed together, he'd feel less lonely since they could have fun for these 3 months. Hearing that, Hajin confusedly asked why not meeting for 3 months would make him lonely. Suho didn't answer and said it could be a good chance to bond with Nayan too. Hearing the word too, Hajin questioned him about it. Suho was briefly confused by his question. Hajin then laughed and asked if he meant he also wanted to bond with someone else. Suho frantically said no. Hearing that, he then said again it was just a misunderstanding, but Hajin naturally wouldn't believe it. In the future, when Hajin kept recalling that moment, he thought he shouldn't have tried to avoid that question. Time passed, and before he knew it, the schedule for their trip arrived. They were sitting casually in the car while waiting to reach their destination, and since it was winter, they were all dressed warmly to fight the cold, and while Hajin was checking something on his tablet, he was shocked when Nayan accidentally leaned on his shoulder. Seeing that, Hajin asked if she was asleep, but there was no response from Nayan to his question. Seeing that, Hajin realized Nayan did it unintentionally because she had been asleep. After closing his tablet, he then looked out the window. Although he initially refused, here he was. As the winter chill began to seep into their bones, he was traveling with these people.